The Clemens Center for the Performing Arts is located in downtown Elmira, New York. Our patrons come from all over the region to see live entertainment on our stage. We work hard to offer shows in music, dance, and theater that appeal to all kinds of people. Our patrons either park in the parking garage next to the Clemens Center or on a parking lot nearby. Everyone enters through the glass doors into the box office vestibule. Clemens Center volunteers wearing green t-shirts welcome patrons and direct them into the main lobby. Patrons gather and wait in the main lobby until the performers are ready for the theater doors to open. Volunteers are there to help answer questions and direct patrons to restrooms or water fountains, to the quiet room, and to the theater when the doors open. The lobby may become full of people waiting. If patrons have coats with them, they may want to leave them at the coat check to pick up after the performance. The volunteers will give the patrons a number to turn back in to get the coats at the end of the show. Everyone must have an admission slip to enter the theater. Patrons may need to stop at the lectern to pick up an admission slip from a volunteer if they don't already have one. They may have to wait in line for their turn. The red doors of the theater will open about 30 minutes before the show starts. Patrons show their admission slip to a volunteer at the door, and the volunteer directs people to find their seats. Patrons may have to wait in line to show their admission slip. There are 1,618 seats in Powers Theater. Each row of the theater is lettered, and each seat has a number on it. The admission slip tells patrons which row and which seats to look for. Patrons sit together with their friends and family members. There will be people sitting in front, behind, and beside their own groups in the theater. Everyone will be excited to see the performance, which will be starting soon. When the show starts, the theater lights will be low and the audience will get quiet. Patrons will see and hear the performers and music on stage. The sound level will remain the same throughout the show. There will not be any loud noises or bright lights to startle anyone. If someone needs quiet time, though, they can go back to the lobby for a break. The volunteers will direct patrons to a quiet room or an activity area, depending on what they would like to do. If someone needs to use the restroom during the show, it's okay to get permission to get up and go. The volunteers in the lobby will show patrons where the restrooms are. During the show, it's okay for patrons to laugh, clap, cheer, and show how much they like the performance. The performers really like to hear what the audience thinks. If it gets too noisy, patrons can cover their ears or use headphones to block the sound. At the end of the show, the performers will stop and bow. The audience sometimes stands up to clap and gives the performers a standing ovation. This means that the audience really enjoyed the show and that the performers should be proud of how well they did. There will be a question and answer session after the performance. The performers will come back to the edge of the stage to answer questions from the audience. Patrons have to raise their hands and take turns asking questions. The performers may stop taking questions if they run out of time and need to leave the stage. The audience will clap again to thank them for their time. Patrons will exit the theater and gather again in the main lobby. Volunteers will have surveys for patrons to fill out either before they leave or online back at home. The information from patrons about the show they just saw is very important to the Clemens Center. Patrons may want to use the restroom before they leave the building, or they may want to talk to someone about the show. They may also have coats to pick up at the coat check. Once patrons are ready to go, they leave the Clemens Center and go back to get in their cars. We hope patrons enjoy their time at the Clemens Center and come back again for another show soon.